All right, we're before the market opens. Appears that we are headed in the direction of fulfilling where we anticipated the market was going to go yesterday. Let's take a look. The initial balance from yesterday indicated that we might reach the first standard deviation level at 51.84 and change, but more likely 51.65. It didn't happen. Now, what also didn't happen is that at no time during the week, this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, at no time did we achieve the second standard deviation. And on the average, the market moves to the second standard deviation level 2 times a week. It is very, very rare for it to fail to do so even once. And thus far, this week, it hasn't. Meaning that today we have a very strong probability that we're going to hit the second standard deviation mark. So that means potentially a pretty good sized move. That doesn't mean that we're going to move down to this level. Not necessarily. This thing could go up. We're still going to need to wait to see where the where the initial balance is. We won't know that for another hour. But once the first hour of trading is completed, then we'll know what the projections are. But typically, when we see this kind of a market direction, this was the low of the week. Okay. And if the initial balance shows a high that's lower than yesterday's high, then the likelihood that we're going to move down is pretty good. And right now, that's what's happening. Because right now, the market is at 52.05. It's just above where the low of the initial balance was yesterday. We're just above that right now. And it looks like we're moving down so that potentially, the high could be closer to the low of yesterday. So then when we run the numbers, we're probably going to be below this level, meaning that the low of the week will probably be today. We'll have to wait and see. So on that note, let's watch the market as we continue on this morning. And then we'll come back after the opening bell. So, can you short before the opening bell? Oh my goodness, yes, you can. And if you have good indicators, why not? All righty, we'll come back. Now, this was the low from yesterday, and we are just about to break that low. And you can see low volume down here at 86. The initial balance, first standard deviation from yesterday was again at about 83. And we're looking for this to go down to about 65. So there's 73, there's 52, and 65 is right about in here. So again, we'll see. Now, as you can see, the market has already dropped just below yesterday's projected first standard deviation level. So now we could get a bit of a retracement, but that's established. You know, if it doesn't go any further, there's your initial low. And therefore, the high, wherever it may be, unless it goes way up here, uh, gives us a basis for saying that we're going to drop again. And that drop very likely is going to take us right into that neighborhood. But again, it all depends. It's a standard deviation calculation. So you just have to see how far up it goes. I think it's notable that the buying pressure to try to get this thing to move up failed significantly. Look at this. That kept on trying to push it up. It hit the high at 735, which was right there. All right. And this market is just coming down. So when this finally gives up the ghost, as they say, and turns around, whoa. Let's watch. This is volume. We got in 52.10. So here's the 741 pivot. But I think when we get down here to 746, we're going to be below the open. There we go. And let's take a look at the premium. Wow. You can just see the, the highs of the premium continuing to drop. Very interesting. Now, I'm just curious, where is fair value today? Now, according to Hank, fair value is at 64.50. And it's got to move up 2 points to reach buying. And let's see here. Okay, let me show you a little trick. Fair value 64.50. Here, here. That's the buy level. This is the sell level. Premium needs to move up 2 points to hit a program buy, but it only needs to move down 1.75 to hit a program sell. The difference between this and this is 0.25, which makes the odds that the market's going to continue to sell off today close to 70%. 70% odds of a short. And we are already in it. So just as a point of reference, I put the fair value line in. And regardless of the fact that, the premium was above fair value during the first few minutes, so the highs were dropping, the lows were going lower. And now we've sort of stabled out. Let's just take a look at where this is compared to where it was yesterday. All right. And yesterday, only during the latter part of the afternoon did it really begin to drop, but the highs were above. The highs were mostly above. Now, they were always above, it looks like. All right, let's just get rid of some of this stuff. Now, the only announcement that hasn't been made is coming up at 8. In just about 5 minutes. And the expected consumer sentiment is anticipated to be positive. So we'll take a close look at that. And let's get the premium up here too. Here's our primary premium. Okay, so the market's obviously going sideways in anticipation of the announcement coming up in 30 seconds. But as you can see, very negative at the moment. But if this bounces up, look for 93. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. I love it. Oh my goodness, that was cool. Okay. I'm looking at the volume. It's not responding. Oh, let's get this over here as well. Oh, the volume is not cooperating. That could have been it. What was the report? Oh, look, just slight, oh, it was negative. Okay, that tells you what's about to happen. What is happening? We're going lower. I wonder where we're going. See, I recall somebody saying something about 65 might be a target. Now, I should mention that these indicators are all sitting on the premium, data one. And so you can see just how effectively the premium anticipates how the SPOOs are going to move. Down, another move down, another move down, and up we go. And we're moving down as this is moving up. It's a pretty good indication. Be coming down. Boom. And then nothing here. Yeah, it was just nothing. Boom. Up, up, down, 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 down. Somebody said something about 65, I think it was. Oh boy. Now let's take a look at the clock again, because that was just, we just hit a, okay, that's the clock. And right in here, a little bit of a high. That's seeming to be in agreement with that little pivot. but not to worry. This isn't going up. It's coming down. Oh, you should really. Well, let's take a look at one other thing. See this very thick yellow band? Market doesn't like to go beyond that. That's a 2 standard deviation band from the VWAP. And it's right now down at 62 and 64, 65 is where we're projecting. Now, as you can see on several of our screens, here was the open. We just managed to get back to the open. And we're hitting our maximum range on the TSC, so we can be anticipating this is getting ready to come back down. Nice divergence here developing on the RSX. There's CCX divergence here as well. Now you see how the TSC here is moving up. Now what we can't tell is where it's going to go flat and then ultimately hook. That's why we have our other indicators in here. Now the fast RSX has almost hit its max. So we're still moving up. So this looks divergent, yeah, but you can't tell where it's going to flatten out like it just did. And so if you really want to be safe, we wait for this to hook. But we're going to get a short signal up here momentarily. Okay, this is turning. There we have it. There's the premium. Here's the ticky. Losing steam. Premium heading down. I'm gonna try one more time to get a little higher. Failing that, because we don't see anything on the premium to suggest it's gonna go higher. And as the ticky drops below zero, and we need it to drop below -8. There we go. So watch this dip below the open, then push back up and try to get above again. Failing that, new low for the day, here we come. Just moments ago, the premium dropped 62.75. That's a program's L. And it's trying to inch back up and make it come a little higher, but don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. We're going to be going right back down. Okay. Look at how this relates. Okay. That low on the premium corresponds to this low on the SPOOs, 83.25. And we're up at 90.75. Beautiful opportunity for a short because you know where it's coming back. Premium just told you. So look for a good opportunity. Let's take a look at our bands. Okay, we're there, and let's. Okay, now look at the ashies are they're all positive. Oh, almost. So generally speaking, we're going to be saying, hey, this is not a time to short. We want to go long. But after that big move down on the premium, you've now been given a prophecy of where this is going to go. And it's going to come back and it's going to break through that low. All right. So all we have to do, be patient, wait for the short to develop. Okay. It'll come. And then watch what's going to happen. Coming right back down. And once that happens, and Yeah, we may get a little bit more volatility, but we know where it's ultimately headed. Okay. Oh, and I'm just looking at this low. Wow. Ain't no divergence down there. Now we had a nice short signal up here at the top. It didn't show up on the 5-second chart, but it did on the. Oh, by the way, that's why it didn't show up. The signals here on the 5-second chart with the ashes, that's all reverse divergence. This is normal divergence. Now we're 15 seconds away from our initial balance calculation. It's going to show up right here. And we'll see where the numbers are. There we go. 51, 60, 52. That's standard deviation 1. 4710 is standard deviation 2. And that's where the math suggests we're going to go. And like we said earlier, that will put the low of the week Friday afternoon, because that was the low of the week until now. High of the week, Wednesday. So what kind of a pattern do we have? If this proves to be true, this will be a yellow day, a yellow week, where the high of the week is usually on Wednesday, could be on Thursday, but usually on Wednesday. Oh, come to think of it, wait a minute. 675. Oh, no. High of the week is on Tuesday. Woo. Regardless, yeah, that's a little early for the high of the week on Tuesday. But be that as it may, the pattern isn't going to change here. So with the high of the week being on Tuesday or Wednesday in this case, but Tuesday for certainty, the yellow day week means that if we're a yellow day, or pardon me, a yellow week down, the low will be on Friday and it will always be lower than the low on Monday. That's what the pattern says. So later today, we'll be able to see whether that takes place. It might even happen this morning. As close as we are, that certainly could happen this morning. All right, we're going to shut up for a while. We'll come back in a few minutes. Another program, sell, lower than the previous one. Here, no, not quite as low. It's trying to make it, but it's going to fail. Now, those two spikes up, 66.50. That's the program buy, 66.50. So these spikes up fail to hit that. And incidentally, look at the time, 8:36. What's the clock say? 36, 37. Pushing up just a little higher. I'm not concerned. So how do you read this? You got to keep well in mind what the premium said back at 8:27. So regardless of what's happening here, this is going to turn. So taking these signals and right in here is, as you look at the TSC, you've got a high here, a lower high on the RSX, not so much on the CCX though. So we might have, this could have a little bit more strength to it. So you take the short and you put in a stop to break even if this thing turns back on you. And looking at this chart, here's a little problem. This move up on the premium. Remember, these indicators are on the premium. That indicates to me, yeah, we're going to try to hit that high again. So up to 96. Yeah, we're gonna push above it. Look at the premium now. It's a little higher. So when you see that, wait. Okay, and there's 96, 25, 50, 75. Yeah. Kind of have to wait. And now it's, you got to be in a waiting pattern. Because if in the course of the move up here, you look at what's happened to the premium. We got a new high on the premium here. We count 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. It's still going up. We've got to have divergence on the indicators, divergence on the premium. Now you've got it on the raw data, but not on the indicator. The indicator here is, in my estimation, too high. if I shorted that, I would have to be very concerned that we were gonna come right back and test that high. So let's take a look. Oh, we moved right up to the VWAP, okay? Right up to the VWAP. No significant divergence on the TSC. Yeah, we're gonna try this again. All right, there's your fail. And notice the premium. Okay, let's line that up. Okay, just crossing the zero line. All right, that's very typical. Now the premium is, or the CCX is below the zero line. Very indicative that the market has lost its strength to get back up there. It's trying. This low of the premium is a lower low than here. That corresponds with this. So that's the move down. So you want to be short in here. And we're going to need to interrupt our video here in a little while, but we'll come back in about an hour. But the overall call is short, looking for new lows for the day, most likely in the afternoon. Failed again. All righty, we're going to pause and come back a bit later. Now, getting back to what we said earlier, here's the premium. The top yellow line is fair value, but the lower yellow line is the program sell level. And we had several of them, one taking place at just about 8:24. Here we are at 8:27. You've seen others that have happened since then, and now we've had a real big one. So what was the price of the SPOOs at 8:27? At 8:27, the low was 86. At 8:24, the low was 83. So where do you think the premium is telling us we're going? You'll soon find out. So yeah, and just one other thing here. Where were we at the open? All right. So the high of the day thus far, all right, was after the first half hour of trading. Okay. So getting close to 9 o'clock. So this tells us a little bit about our pattern. Now, presuming, and things could be different, but presuming that this was the high. We've already established our initial balance. We barely made it over the high of the first hour of trading. So now as we're going back into the low, which we believe we are, then the low of the day, based on pattern, if right before 9 o'clock is the high is early. all right? So that means that the low is going to be late. It's going to be later in the day, maybe going into the last half hour. We'll have to see, but that's what the pattern, this would be a green day pattern down. Now, yesterday was a red day pattern, but it bounced in the last half hour, big time. Here, we anticipate the low is going to be in the afternoon, past 2 o'clock, maybe, pardon me, this is Mountain Standard Time, not Central. Mountain Standard Time, past 1 o'clock, maybe into 1:30. So we shall see. We'll come back as soon as we drop below that predicted low of the premium. Now, as we get down right back to where we were before, 86.25, watch what happens to the premium. Now, I'm going to have to cut off this video and I'm going to return, but I've got to stop the video now because I have to use the computer for another purpose. But we'll come back and we'll review what's happened after it plummets down to that level. And then again, we'll talk more about where we're headed. Brian, I made you co-host. We just dropped, but we have not seen another drop on the premium, so may have to give that just a little bit more time. Well, we've got to stop the video here. We will